you're on with Kelly.
Hey, Kelly, how you doing today?
Good. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. How you doing?
We're doing great over here. This is for Hard Rock Haven, so I'm a big fan of Night Ranger, have been for a long time, so congrats on another great new record, man.
Well, thanks very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, we seem to be kind of on a roll. The last 3 albums, we're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, what is this little latter-day renaissance you guys are having? What's behind that?
Well, I think that we we realize that like every few years we gotta write new stuff, and we're really passionate about having new material all the time. So I think that what we did is we kind of like on somewhere in California we started to change things up a little bit. We just would go into a room with our instruments and just kind of like go in there with a clean slate and not have any pre-written songs or anything, and we just go in there and start jamming and playing musical ideas, and then pretty soon we started stuff started to roll out. So I think that that's what we've been doing is we've been getting together and writing sessions, but not have any songs, and just use the musical ideas and melodic ideas that we have, that'll just come out at any given point when we get in there and start playing. So that's been a real blessing, man.
Well, absolutely, and I love the title of the record. I know it's a song on the record too, but I think it sums you guys up perfectly. You guys just never let up.
I think that's kind of what we based our whole career on. It's like, in the past, like even when we were trying to get signed, we were trying to get signed and nobody would do it, and we just kept in there. We just kept at it, I mean, in the middle of trying, sending demos around to record companies in 1979 and 80, Brad went off to play with Ozzy. We thought it was like the end of that,
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of, had a positive attitude about it, and and kept at it. And then he came back, and we had a bunch of these songs already written, and and then after that, it was like after Dawn Patrol, the record company went bankrupt, and it was like we were just like standing out there like we were on a tour, and it was like there's no records in the stores, and we were like, oh my God, So it was like we had to go back in there and make another record and find another deal at the same time,
Wow.
So luckily we had like people that knew what they were doing and brought us over to MCA, and when Irving Azoff took over and signed us over there. So, we were very lucky to not miss too many steps when all that came down,
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about that new record, "Don't Let Up." You've got this is the first one with Carey in the studio. So what did his presence there bring to the recording sessions? What did he add?
Well, he brought in a wealth of ideas and just little clips and bits and riffs and stuff like that we would base starting tunes. I mean, one of them was the song "Truth." That was a really cool little riff that he came up with, and got Jack and him started to put the thing together, and we put it together as a band, and so in that there's like 3 or 4 other things that he came in with riffs,
Mm-hmm.
but he had a stockpile of ideas that were little clips, and it was great having a different perspective coming in from a different side, and I think that we always look for that. We always look for that little spark that's going to set off the whole thing of like, okay, let's write a song off it based on this riff or based on this one guitar line or something,
Well, he's got a hell of a resume, working with some other greats. I know he was most recently I saw him with Alice Cooper. But I mean, did his experience in other bands? Did he bring any of that to the table? Like, hey, this is kind of
Sure.
an Alice thing
Sure,
or anything like that?
So. Absolutely. I mean, I think that playing with all those different bands and different styles, I mean, I think that he brings in that perspective. We've been playing together for 35 years, just the three of us. But having somebody come in with a fresh idea, like Eric came in on the last record, the last two records, Eric came in with a couple of really great little piano things that we wrote. And same thing this year. The two of them, it's really been nice to have, them coming in with some fresh things.
Well, the actual creation process of "Don't Let Up." Could you talk a little bit about the studio work, or where was this recorded?
Sure. Well, I tell you what, it was kind of a scary situation for us because we'd never not had a studio that we could all go in. It's been in the past three or so records have been done. At least most of it at Jack's Barn up in Santa Rosa, California. But and then we take tracks home when we do overdubs, in our respective studios. But in our respective studios. But what we did this time is that we had writing sessions in different studios, and recorded them as demos, and then we used those as templates to actually start re-recording the tracks. So that's how we did it. We had Pro Tools. Everybody had Pro Tools. And we would share these sessions. And so after we did the writing sessions, and we knew how the songs were going to be and what was going to act, maybe all the lyrics weren't written, but we knew the vocal was going to be in certain sections, and so we would just record it like that, and then we would share the sessions, and everybody would put their parts on. So it was kind of a new thing for us because we're not used to that. We're used to being, in one room, doing the whole thing, for weeks at a time. So this enabled us to be at home or be on tour, and then we could go home and work on the stuff.
Yeah, can't beat that. Well, I live in Marysville, Ohio, and we have the Hot Air Balloon Festival, and I know you guys played there a couple years ago. What was it like climbing in the B-25 on the 30th anniversary of Seven Wishes?
That was great. I know we're coming back there too this year.
Yeah, I know.
But that was amazing because when we did that, the album shot was in I want to say it was east of Los Angeles, somewhere where they had a bunch of old planes. And so when we decided to do the Seven Wishes album cover shoot, we went out there and climbed in one, and so the fact that there was one there, when we did that festival was like, oh my God, we got it! Come on, guys, we got to go over and do this. It was a no-brainer. It was like, let's just get this. So it was really fun.
I'm a selfish question just because I'm from here, but what do you think of the festival? I mean, we got some pretty cool balloons, Darth Vader, and
oh my God,
yeah,
totally enjoyed it, and all the people we had so much fun playing for those folks, and the fact that somebody got a shot of like Yoda behind the stage, looking through perfectly like centered while we were playing was unbelievable. I still have that shot.
That's awesome. Well, do you stay in touch with any of your former members of the mob, like Reb, Kip, Doug?
Sure. I see. I just saw Kip. We were on that cruise together in the beginning of February. I just saw him. He lives here in Nashville. That's where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
I see him all the time, or I talk to him anyway. I saw Reb, of course, like in any of the gigs that I've been on, and they were just on the boat. They did a surprise little show. Nobody knew they were going to play, and then suddenly there's Winger playing with all the original members up there playing. It was great. But yeah, somebody else just asked me about the Mob, and I was like, I would sure like to get that band together and actually play.
So there's a potential for a follow up at some point, or at least something you'd like to do.
I would love to do that. I enjoyed that. Being with Doug Pennick, was a real joy because I saw him. I met him back in the late '80s and really enjoyed his band, and then they came to Nashville, and I got to hang out with him a little bit, and that was a great experience, and having Kip produce it. I really enjoyed it. So I had Reb play on my solo album, and I think that that was really great to have him want me to be a part of that. So that worked out great.
I know that was on Frontiers Records as well, and that's the label you guys are on right now. Does being on that label kind of lend to your creativity? Because I know a lot of your peers are also on that label. That seems to be the label where real music still survives.
It's amazing. I mean, I met Serafino back in like 2000, like I think it was like 2000 actually, when I was doing my first solo record, and I knew that he had a passion for this music, for melodic rock, because it was like that's when I first met Kip. He got Kip to do some solo records. I mean, and it was just a small label then, but I really think that the label is they're like so all over all melodic music, 80s mostly, but I think that if it wasn't for Serafino and Mario, I think that we would just be putting these records out on the internet. And, I mean, I think it's we have to thank them for that. Because they're really passionate about the music.
Well, thank God for that, because I mean they put out some great stuff, and great tours have come through. I just saw Graham Bonnet and Frank Domino, so Frontiers.
Oh yeah, I was hearing about that.
Yeah, I mean that's another great Frontiers tour, and they're doing some great stuff there. Well, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but I mean, why in 2017? Why do new material with radio as non-diverse as it possibly could be? What's the drive there to create something new when you could probably just do the greatest hit circuit?
Well, that's exactly what we don't want to do. Is we don't want to just die. We just want to keep being creative and and it's kind of like we owe it to ourselves, but we also owe it to our fans. Because those people come out year after year, and every once in a while, I mean, you can't just survive on the music from the '80s. You have to create something new because it's important to us. I mean, otherwise, it's like just going on the road isn't enough. After a few years, you got to go back in there and make some new music, and that's just how everybody thinks in this band.
Well, I'm one of those guys that'll be buying it in physical format. I saw that there's a deluxe version of Don't Let Up. Could you talk a little bit? Do you know what's on that? There's a DVD or something?
I think that there's going to be some, there's clips on there. There's going to be some interview stuff. I think there's an extra song. We need a different version. It's just more content. The more we can put in there, the better.
Absolutely. So what are you listening to these days, Kelly? Is there a band you're really into, or do you like to listen to the old stuff? Or
I mean, I have been listening to R&B stuff. I've been going back and listening to old R&B stuff when I was a kid, just to kind of like get the idea of like what's going on with this stuff. I've always been an R&B fan, and I would love to at one point I would love to do an R&B album, but I don't know. I don't know. That might be a little far fetched. I'm kind of a bluesy singer, so I could probably maybe get away with some of it. But yeah, I've been going back and listening to that, and just kind of like looking at the inspirations that gave me kind of like a head start on my career. So I think that, and I do listen to some of the more modern. I think Lady Gaga's new record's great. I think that there's artists like that that are really making huge strides in music these days, and Pink, of course, and some of the females are just kicking ass, man. And so I've been looking at that stuff.
Did you catch Gaga at the Grammys with Metallica?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Did, and also the last few performances she's done on some of the live stuff.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah.
Beyonce, one of my favorite singers too. I mean, I'm not so much of a big fan of this record, but I like the last tour. I Am. I thought that was amazing.
I've never caught her live, but that's something I'll have to. It's on the list.
Well, she has that DVD out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That tour is all girl band playing, and crazy, man.
Well, speaking of DVDs, you guys put out one pretty recently, the Live in Chicago, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
In May of last year, we did that. And in fact, that was a showcase for a couple of the songs that are on the record. We did them on that, like Day and Night and You're Running Out of Time. We did those two songs, and that was kind of to kick it off, But we enjoyed doing that, and we think we're going to try and book that every year. Also, the Fillmore as well. We got a chance to play the Fillmore, and so yeah. I mean, that's a great venue to record a DVD in. So nice and intimate, but it's not too too big either, and too small. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a great opportunity to do that there. So.
Well, hey, yeah, you can book that gig every year if you want, but as long as you make it to the Marysville Hot Air Balloon Festival, that's the important thing.
I'm telling you, man.
We're looking forward to having you back. Well, hey, Kelly, thanks so much for doing this. Real quick, what's on the horizon for, obviously you guys have a new record coming out soon, but what do you have the rest of the year planned out?
Well, we do have a bunch of dates, and about 40-something dates, and going to Japan to support the album over there, and hopefully next year 2018 we'll hit the UK and outside of the country a little bit more, and keep playing this new album for people. And I'm working on solo stuff, and I know Jack's been doing some stuff with the Revolution Saints, and we're all try and keep creative as much as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, like you said, you don't want to let that spark go, and you guys definitely still have it. So, congrats again on the new record, Kelly. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in Marysville.